Well, let's see how well this works. Hello, hello. Let's see if my cameras are all still working. Hello, hello. I have been fighting with OBS. Hello all. This is taking a while. I had fighting some OBS issues and then my microphone. I think I've got that worked out. Hello, but I still could not, every time I would select an OBS, a thumbnail, it would just lock up. Just completely lock up. So I gave up on the thumbnail. Just gave up on it. Today on the workbench, indeed. I have a PS5 I've been waiting to take a look at. Actually, I have 3 of them. I think one of them is just an HDMI port. So maybe I should just always follow Joey and try to poach his viewers. I don't know. Good morning. I'm not sure if I've got all my cameras set up properly. We're going to give this a try. Good morning or afternoon or wherever it is, wherever you are. Let me see if I can switch. I'm going to be taking a look at a PS5 that I bought off eBay. And it was, it's been previously worked on. And I bought it from another technician, basically. It is a no power, I believe, and I want to show you the PS5 listing if I could. If I can get that to work. Where is that option? No, no, no. Oh, yeah, screen capture. There it is. And there's the eBay listing where I bought it from. Good afternoon. So basically it's a guy who I guess does like me. He works on PS5s. I chatted with him some before I bought the thing. But basically he bought it as a no power and decided to, I guess he checked the power supply. He decided to inject 1 volt. And that's the part why I messaged him. Where did you inject 1 volt exactly? And why did you feel compelled to do so? He said it was on the 12 volt bus. And, okay, so that should not have caused any damage. But basically, that's about all I know is that it has been looked at. And he says that all he did was try to inject 1 volt on the 12 volt bus and nothing got hot. And he gave up. I don't know if that's the whole truth. But we're about to find out. This could be interesting. It could be very boring. I don't know. Let me go back. That's what we're starting with, though. Let me get this thing. Grab the box, which is not in the best of shape. Not in the best of shape. If I can show you. Yeah, well, it's hard to see. It's been kind of flattened. But it doesn't roll around too much inside. Well, let's see what we have. Get you out of the way. Yeah, wrapped up pretty good. Can't complain there. Just the box had some rough handling. It doesn't. Kind of hard to see anything there, isn't it? All right, there you can see it. Huh. What model is this? This is a 1015, so this is the original model. Let's see what we can do with this. Put this lid somewhere where I'll lose it. Okay. I apologize if I don't follow along with chat too well because I'm not used to doing that. I'm not used to that at all. Maybe I'll get better. Let's go ahead and get this apart. I know I don't usually show in my videos. I don't like to bore people with this part, the disassembly. But it is part of it. And I have not applied power to it at all. I mean, I'm assuming that the guy was truthful. Maybe I should plug it in. You know, the internet being the internet. Nah. I'm gonna go ahead and take the covers off of it. So I think we're gonna have to get in there. Let's see. And I've been working on switch lights here lately, so I haven't really done any videos because I don't think anybody wants to see me working on a switch light, but I may be wrong. I've just been replacing ports on switch lights. Every now and then I'll get in the mood to work on those. Not very often. But there for a time, right after Christmas, I would swear PS5s, broken PS5s just got stupid expensive. And I'm like, I'm not paying $250 for something I'm going to sell for $320 maybe. Anyway, so I didn't have any. Didn't have any in. Have 3 in right now. I'm expecting another. I think I'm expecting one more. But yeah, the PS5's got stupid expensive, broken ones, and shipping seemed to slow to like a crawl. It took weeks to get anything in. Well, what did I forget? All right. Set you to the side. I don't see any missing screws. So he was kind enough to include all of those. Hello from Montreal. I do thank you all for joining. This is really my very first repair stream. I did one other stream. I was just testing out some cameras and stuff. But this was the first where I hope to repair something. Or it could just be embarrassing. I don't know. Oh, I can see right here. He has been connecting to read the UART. So the codes have been read out. So, yeah. I want to go ahead and get this board out, I think. Let me go ahead and pull the board out. And I'd like to see how much current it's drawing. I have not plugged it in yet. I mean, I'm assuming the guy is honest. That honest, it says it doesn't turn on. He says it does not beep, does not make any noises, no lights. And that's just how I like them. I like them dead. I have a much better chance of fixing those compared to the beep on and off. Because those can be a rabbit hole. Maybe one day we'll have access to the startup monitor. Like we have on the PS4, you can actually see, you know, the as the processor does its work and starts up. It'd be nice. At some point, I think we'll have that on the PS5. That would be sweet. Right now, all we have are some somewhat cryptic error codes. Do I sing? I hope not. I must say, I have no musical abilities whatsoever. That side of my brain does not work. I do not have any musical abilities, none. And it's best for all if I never sing. It's just for the better. It's for the best. Maybe I should have taken all these screws out before the stream started. I apologize. And the reason for all these screws is not to annoy technicians. I'm sure it is for compliance with RF radiation requirements. You have so many signals in this thing running in the hundreds of megahertz and the gigahertz. And if you don't have a tight RF seal around this thing, like metal to metal, it will leak out and radiate, and that's why they do it. They're trying to meet emission standards for RF energy. Where did I put? Oh, I see one I missed. All right. Yeah, those screws are actually for a purpose, so that it doesn't interfere with, you know, radio and TVs and cell phones, and because this thing is running at some high frequency. You got a lot of, you know, square waves in the gigahertz that are going to generate all manner of harmonics. Let's go ahead. Oh, I got to get these two here. We're almost there. Almost there. I need to turn on my power supply. I'm just kind of curious how much current it's drawing. Maybe we can tell if we have a short, or if it's hanging at a certain current. APU doesn't look too bad there. So yeah, this is one of those with all that extra thermal putty. All right. Let's see. I need to get where I can show you my bench power supply. So this is some of the logistics I have not worked out very well, is how to show various things. I'll get there. One thing, I need to make sure the supply is still set on 12 volts, and I haven't changed it to something else for whatever else I was working on. No, looks like channel 1 is right. All right, let me see, can I just move this camera around? Get this little web camera over here. But I can't zoom, it's a fixed lens. Is that showing up? I guess I could just go full to that camera, couldn't I? Man, that's blurry. That is blurry. I'm not sure if that's going to be viewable or not. Okay, we need a better camera for that. Oh, hey, Micro Mage. Good of you to drop by. Very nice. Some familiar people in the chat. That's always good to see. All right, I'm going to give this thing 12 volts. I've got a ½ amp of current limiting. Make sure our polarity is right, and it is. I hope. Yeah, make sure my leads haven't gotten reversed here. You know, odd things happen. All right, if I give it 12 volts now, we have a short. I thought he said he didn't see a short. Yeah, that's kind of a short. That's kind of a short. Okay. Maybe I misunderstood his message. I thought he did not find a short. So I couldn't understand why he suspected a short. Let me go back to that. Okay. So this could get ugly. Well, I know we have a short. I'll check it, but I think I'm just going to hear a nice beep sound. I don't know. Wow, what do you know? A short. Okay, how low of a short? Let me go back to resistance mode. Wow. Now, let me get that glare out of the display of the meter. That's, wow, that's like a piece of wire thrown across it there. That is a mighty dead short. None of these DR MOS chips have been removed. I have been charging up my infrared camera, so that should be good to go. I'm still using the old FLIR. I need to update to the what's the other one called? The P2 or something. My issue is though that the version they come out with now of that nice camera won't work with a USB-C iPhone, which is what I have. So I'm using my old FLIR with my old iPhone 7 here, which has a crappy battery in it that lasts about a minute. So I have a battery ordered for it, but I don't know where it's coming from, but it's been a month and it hasn't shown up. So that's what I'm dealing with. I need to get a better camera. It would be nice to have a camera that actually showed like you had an HDMI out. Do you have software with a power supply? Yeah, I'm sure there does. I've never used it. I just prefer to handle it, use it. Man, I guess I could get an on-screen display if I did that. That's a thought. And I could get an on-screen display with like this meter. I know they make a infrared output to couple on the back of this, but haven't really needed it. All right, so short. Here's an issue that you run into though. That's such a low short. It's not going to make much heat. I mean, if that low resistance, I mean, it's just not going to be simple. If it was, you know, 1/10 of an ohm, I'd love it. But it was like 0.03 or something. So that's not going to give you a lot of heat. Let's look around under the microscope if we could. I want to look in that area. If I can get everything in focus. This could be interesting to find. Is that brightness turned all the way up on that light? I think it is. Because here's our 12 volts in. And it is all down through this bus right here. Which is basically a bunch of parallel channels to get up to the amount of current they need. It's like at 1 volt, 9/10 of a volt, 1 volt. But they need a lot of current. So they have that's why you have all these parallel circuits. And because they're parallel, it makes it kind of fun to isolate a short. Because everything measures short. Could be something up under some of this blue goo. Let me think. Let me think. mean, I can pump some current into it. Kind of have to be careful. I don't want to damage the APU. But that seems lower. Like if one of these DR-MOS chips short from in to out, I mean, it's normal if you're measuring into the processor to read like, what is it, 0.06? It's a low resistance, so you don't want to, that's reading 0.03. That's the problem. Everything is shorted, everything's really low resistance. I can try, I think I've tried to use my ESR meter, because that's something people recommend is, you know, to help find shorts like this, because it runs like 100 kilohertz. But I've tried it before, it did not help. All right, let me get set up. We're going to see if we can inject some current here, or not inject, I'm just going to hook to the 12 volt line at 12, well, if I run it at 12 volts, well, it's not going to be at 12 volts anyway, it's current limiting, so you're not going to get 12 volts anyway. You're going to get a fraction. You're going to get a fraction of that. I don't see a nice crispy capacitor. It'd never be that easy. All right. Let me dig out the old thermal camera and see if my old iPhone 7 has enough charge on it. Where are we? Come on, wake up. We're at 21% charge. 21% charge. What could go wrong? All right. Okay. Wake up. All right. I don't have any power on it right now. Let's give it some power. The voltage is 0.038. Yeah. There's not going to be enough heat there to detect anything. Let me raise it up to at least an amp here. I'm only running ½ amp. I still don't think there's going to be enough heat. There's 1 amp. That is 75 milliwatts of power dissipation. The voltage is 0.075. It's a substantial short. My phone's saying low battery. I just don't think there's going to be enough heat. It's such a low short. It's like you just clip the leads together on the power supply. Now, all right, I'm going to raise a little more current up to it. All I'm seeing is some reflections. Let's raise this up to like 2 amps. The supply is capable of like 3.2 unless I parallel the channels, and then we can go up to 6. There's 2 amps of current, which is 260 milliwatts, which is probably still not enough to detect. Let me get over in the right area here. I mean, we're talking 1/4 of a watt of heat. Just a second. I want to see, right quick like, am I getting any voltage at the APU? No. No. Just want to see if anything was leaking through. We've got 0.130 coming out of the supply. Just trying to see if we had a leak through the DR MOS, so maybe they're not. Is this just going to be a dead capacitor somewhere? Probably so. Because capacitors on PS5s like to die a lot. Nothing. Okay. How about 3 amps? That is 600 milliwatts. That is, the voltage is 0.197 across a piece of wire. I don't see anything. It is just such a dead short. Okay. If that's the case, then we're going to have to back up and start lifting some coils. We're going to start isolating some stuff. But I'm not even seeing anything even slightly warm. You can see my finger coming. It's just not even slightly warm. You see a few reflections, that's about it. What is that? That's just a reflection. And here's these coils right over here. Okay. I think we're doing it the hard way. There are some tiny little bypass caps right there, I noticed, right across the rails, but I don't think those little things can handle 3 amps of current. I think they would have burned open by now. Okay. Turn on the soldering iron. Yeah, my power supply beeps, but you know what? It didn't always beep. It did that after a software update. Yeah, this is a no power that I bought off another technician. No power, no lights, no beep. It's a dead short on the 12-volt rail. But look, it looks like it really hasn't been worked on. I don't see any flux or anything. So I'm going to lift this coil going into the VRMs for the APU. Just going to lift one side of it if I can. If it will allow me to. We will try to divide and conquer. Okay, that's lifted. Trying to keep everything in the shot is the challenge sometimes. All right, now what do we have other than tangled leads? What do we have right here? We are still shorted. And the rails into the APU should be isolated unless I'm making contact up under there. I don't think so. There's another one down here. Let's lift this other one. We're going to divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Not sure if I've had one quite like this. Let's get some flux going here. We need a little help. Add some fresh solder. Try not to break the coil. And that big one came right up. This little one's putting up a fight. I don't want to break it. Do have some donors, but I'd rather not break it. Come on. Oh, I think I see. What it is, it's the way this coil has actually a lead that can bend. You know, this bigger one does. This little one here doesn't have that. It doesn't have a lead that can give on the other side. So that's why it's not wanting to lift. Am I going to have to put hot air on that? I don't think I've ever had to lift this coil. Because the 12 volts does go to other places. It does. It goes to some regulators over here. It goes to a lot of places. It goes to the one that that generates the RAM voltage, which is over here, I believe. So it goes to other places. It doesn't have to be here. This is just kind of a likely suspect. So I was just going to lift these coils and isolate them. It's such a low short. I'm wondering if it's something. Probably at some point there'll be a very obvious shorted capacitor. But you would think though, if it was over here, these should be fused. Some of this stuff, like for the RAM, and this I think would be fused. I think, and you'd blow the fuse. That's what I like to think, anyway. Okay. Can I get this coil off without destroying it? I have a feeling it's still going to have a short when we remove this. I don't think it's here. I think it's elsewhere. All right, she's moving. Okay. Let go. There we go. It has some large pads to it. All right, so basically we've lifted. That should be everything going to the APU's VRMs, and we still have a short. We still have a short. Okay, I see another one here it's going in on. No fuse. You can see here's the bus for the 12 volts. And where it goes into this inductor is direct. There's no fuse there. All right, let's take a look in that area under the microscope. See if something jumps out at us. But this is such a low short. Hope everyone's having a good day. I am. I'm off work and having fun. Like those right there would be directly on it. All four of those. Like here's the 12 volt bus right here. Direct straight from the source into here through this inductor. No fuse. I think it's fused afterwards or something. Yeah, the output of it is fused or something. I want to guess we measure, well, obviously we're going to measure a short right there also. could be one of those. They look healthy though, don't they? They're not discolored. I mean, they look good. See, here is 12 volts also, I'd imagine, but it's, you see it's through a fuse. Yeah, it's shorted to ground, so that's going to be 12 volts. So I wouldn't think it would be over here. I wouldn't think so. I would think that fuse, which is probably a 5 amp, I think it would have just blown. Oh, is that a probe mark? What is that? Somebody's been hunting for a short. What about the other side of the board? Are there any capacitors on the other side of the board in that area? I see one there, but all right, that's not 12 volts there though. That's like 3.3 or 5. I can't remember. So what to do? What to do? I can lift that inductor right there because it could be in here. It could be over here. This is the other side of the APU. A couple of more DC-DC converters here that generate like 9/10 of a volt at a substantial amount of current, but also feeds into the APU. Speaking of APU, I don't see any cracks in the corners, do we? Nah, I don't think so. Let me check it out. I'm pretty sure 12 volts is what comes over here also. This is the output though, so yeah, that's reading shorted as well. Oh no. Everything is shorted? Everything is shorted? No, everything can't be shorted. Give me a break. Shorted. Okay. Everything is shorted. Why? Just look at that spot on that one. That is after a fuse, though. Getting a bad feeling about this. I'm not really seeing any cracks though in that APU. Oh, there's a piece of wire laying down in here. Huh. Is there another piece of wire somewhere that I haven't found yet? Get that out of there. Is there another piece of wire? That's lifted. That's lifted and not bridged. Fun, fun, fun. Dead short. Okay, yeah, no dead short over there. That's something. Dead short of the input, not over there. What about over here? Yeah, no dead short on that side of the inductor. The dead short is still kept over here. Well, that's something. I'll take it. All right, let me just lift this one right here. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, I haven't been following chat too well. Another eBay special? Well, if it is, it's my own fault because I knew it had been worked on. So that kind of makes it my own fault, doesn't it? I mean, when the guy tells you he's worked on it, and you buy it anyway, you know? I guess you get what you get. So these coils, you don't really have any leads to them that'll bend, so you kind of have to get the whole thing up. And there's a lot of copper in this area. I don't think this is going to be it either, though. But it is an unfused branch, so watch it be a piece of wire laying somewhere directly across the 12 volts. Okay, put you off to the side. Now, what do we have right here? Still shorted. No short on this side. So we're still short on the input side. Like that capacitor right there, which looks just fine. So it's not the circuit to the left here, because we removed the 12 volts going in. Still short on the right side. Make sure you can see it. Sorry. No short on the left, shorts on the right. So it's still something directly on the 12 volt bus, which is quite a few things. Okay. What else directly gets 12 volts? What else directly gets 12 volts? What else? Yeah, we are still a dead short. Well, the 5 volt circuit gets 12 volts in, right down here. Is it there? I know these capacitors have failed in the past on a lot of people. I don't know if I've had one of those replaced. I don't remember. Well, is that what it is? Because I was trying to see if these capacitors, let's look under the microscope. I couldn't remember if those capacitors were on the 5 volt output or on the 12 volt input. And it looks like they are on the 12 volts going in. Yeah. Aren't those the ones that fail a lot? Yeah, here's our 12 volt bus coming in, no fuse. And this is your 5 volt. This is the MOSFETs for the 5 volts, and this is the controller. And there's your 5 volt output. And then we are fused F7001. So yeah, it could be right here. Okay. I suppose if I'd had a power supply that could put out 10 amps, I could have forced enough current through it. I just hate brute forcing it like that, just because you end up burning a layer of the board or something. Or burning open whatever the problem was and never being able to find what it was. I probably have a supplier here somewhere that will put out 10 amps. But I like to be kinder and gentler to the board if I can. I don't know. Is it going to be one of these right here? I know it has been in the past. Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah. I'm checking chat every now and then. I may have to rethink my layout. The chat's way over to my right. Like, I had to twist my head around to be able to read it, and I probably should have it directly in front of me. But then again, I'm not really a content creator, as you will probably figure out. But yeah, adding a little fresh leaded solder to that. I would not doubt it's one of these capacitors here. I'm just kind of surprised we can't see it. Maybe if we look at it from the side. Sometimes you have to look at it from the side and you can see it, see a crack in it or something. All three of these inductors I've removed are all the same value. I think they're 1 millihenry. And there is a lot of copper underneath this thing. I'm only at 440 on my air though. I could go up a little bit. And I'll park you right there. Stay right there. Thank you. Now, still in continuity mode. No short going into the 5-volt regulator. Short is still on the input. Oh, I had such high hopes for you 5-volt circuit. But it seems you are innocent. Oh yeah, micro mode. Yeah, I can put it in parallel mode. I've done that before. And I can get up to 6 amps. And it may come to that. I don't have one of those, short circuit supplies that some people have. Haven't really needed it. So it's not there. It's not. I'm going to leave that open for now. It's not going into this circuit, the 5-volt circuit. It's not going into the APU. We've lifted those. There's a blob of solder that needs to go away. It needs to go far away off my bench before it ends up stuck to the back of a board. Now we've lifted that. We lifted that. So, is it... This is the 1.35 circuit for the RAM. And I'm measuring a short there too. Why is everything shorted? Why is absolutely everything shorted? Kind of interesting to find a short when everything is shorted. Which gives me not a good feeling. Because even this over here, this is on the other side of the APU. I mean, these are low impedance lines, but they're not that low impedance. I'm reading like 0.02. They're not that low impedance. want to say it's usually like 2 ohms or something. So is that part of our APU bad? But even so, I mean, yeah, that's measuring short. That's measuring short. These are 2 other small rails into the APU. I want to say it's like, what is it? One's a 0.75, one's like 1.5 volts, something like that. 1.8, I can't remember. But even those read a dead short. I don't like it. I don't like it. Why is everything shorted? 0.05. Because what I don't get is, even if the APU did die, 12 volts doesn't go to the APU. That means something else had to have died. For the APU to act as a short, a VRM feeding it has to have shorted, and it had to have shorted through, to present a dead short at the APU. I did not check over here. When I was applying voltage earlier, I didn't check to see if I was getting DC, over here, which you shouldn't have. If I'm only feeding in like 1.5 volts or something. Oh, an internal layer shorted? Got a bad feeling about this. I have lifted and lifted. All right, I'm going to lift these coils here, and to see which side the short is on. At least these are somewhat. There's so many things shorted, it just can't be a happy ending. There's just too many things shorted. Too many things shorted. And like I say, 12 volts should not be here on this coil. Those other coils I lifted, yeah, they should have 12 volts on them. They're directly on 12 volts. This should not be. I don't believe. It's the output of a DC-DC converter. But to my knowledge, 12 volts does not go directly to the APU. Anywhere. But there are multiple rails going in that are derived from 12 volts. All right. Still a short going into the APU there. Nothing on this side. 450 ohms. What about this side? No. Well, that reads dead short. What is... Oh, this is still connected, isn't it? This is still connected. This coil is still connected. All right, now, I have a feeling we have a dead APU. All right, now on this side of the coil, no short. This side of the coil, very, very short, as in 0.00. Just not my day, is it? And these are reading, these should be like a few hundred ohms or something. And they are reading 0.04 and 0.17. So, yeah. Doesn't look like this cover has been off on the top of the APU. I don't see any liquid metal anywhere. I mean, that could explain a lot. That would give you a nice short. And my meter keeps going to sleep. .03, and that's on the 1.35 for the RAM. Don't see anything over here. No nice glob of anything laying across anything. All right, I didn't check. I've lifted those other coils there. I'm supposing we still have a 12-volt short. Even after, oh wait, no we don't. We do not have a 12-volt short. Let's short my leads together. Our 12-volt short went away. I'm sorry, I know you can't see. I'll switch back to this overhead. Yeah. Our 12-volt short went away when I lifted one of these coils here. If I go across the terminals, went away. So what if I go right here and then push one of these puppies down? Like that one. There you go. That one. Nope. This one. So there's our problem. Are there any convenient little capacitors on that rail? At least we cleared our 12-volt short. Hey, that's something. So this is, it's another rail, and I need to look it up and see. You have some over here. These run about, there's two over here. There's the 6-phase and the 2-phase. And they're about 9/10 of a volt or 1 volt. And there's two over here that also run about 9/10, 0.85 or something like that, that also go into the APU. And I'm not sure if we're talking like, you know, GPU and APU and, you know what I'm saying, but I'm guessing it's different sections of it. That would be my guess. So there's our short. I don't see any little capacitors right here. How about on the other side of the board? Oh, we got some tantalums there. Not going to be that easy, I just have a feeling. Yeah. 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 Trying to think. This, I think, was 12 volts coming in there. Of course, it's clear now. So it's these rails going into this side of the APU. They're very, very short. And the only real capacitors I see are those, what I assume are some tantalums there, that look fine. They don't have any cracks in them or anything. And if it is the APU, I could inject right there. Still not going to be a lot of heat, though. It's such a direct short. Back to resistance mode. No, it's in nano Siemens. I don't need that. That's really, really short. Is it liquid metal gotten under the seal right here? Anything's possible. Is there liquid metal up under the edge of the, up under it there? Can't tell. I don't think this has been off. Now they're both so lower resistance. And they're not paralleled. I mean, they're in the same circuit. And they both go in on this side of the APU, but they're not directly connected, not normally. Today they are. And I think these two rails right here are derived right in this little area. And those are also very low resistance. Let me pull this sponge cover off. I just don't think that's going to be any help. But at this point, I mean, it looks very clean. I don't see any traces of liquid metal where it's gone, you know, underneath that seal. Not good. And this goes, I think, on the it goes through internal layers of the board, looks like. Yeah. To over here. One short is bad enough, but we have multiples on different rails, which does not bode well. 0. Yeah, those should be like you know, a few hundred or a K ohm or something. These small ones. Not good. That's lifted. I mean, we're talking that's straight into the APU. And it is normally, let me find another board, another EDM10. It is normally, it's low resistance there, but it's not that low. Not that low. And that one's missing the processor. Let's don't do that one. Oh, wait a minute, I have an EDM10. I have a working EDM10 that I keep down here for such occasions. And nope, that's a 20. Let's find the 10. All right, here's a working EDM10. Let me set this there. All right, on that rail, yeah, 23 ohms. I think the other one is like 3 or 4. Yeah, 3 ohms. So yeah, and these small, you can't see them probably. There's some small vias right here that come from these DC-DC converters. Should be like 100 ohms or 282 ohms. This is like 2K ohms or something, I think. 1.5 and climbing. So all of those are shorted. Like that's 4 different leads into this APU that are shorted. What luck. Not this one, I mean, but you know, the other one. Yeah, that should be 22 ohms, and this should be 3 ohms roughly. Not good. I may have to call this one time of death at 0 ohms. I think you're right. The MOSFET for this one is, I think it's right here. And I think these are, let me look. Yeah. There's a controller on the back side. I think these are like dual package MOSFETs. Like the high side and low side may both be in there or something. I've looked them up before, I can't remember. So, yeah. What do I do? 0 ohms. I mean, what good does it do to inject into a 0 ohm short? Let me look. I'm trying to see up under the edge of the APU there. Let's look up under the edge of this thing. I don't think there's any liquid metal under there. Let me get this scope over to the side of the workbench. Oh, those two inductors are lifted. They're lifted on one side. They're floating. I don't know, this is just a catastrophic failure of the APU or something. It's kind of hard to get a good view up under the, yeah, I can't get a good view under this thing. Trying to see if there's any globs of liquid metal. I don't see it. I can see a little bit better than you can, though, with the light shining down underneath the APU. I can see every little solder ball, and I don't see any liquid metal. Great. I can't say I've ever seen one fail quite like that. Not without giving some kind of, evidence. I'm going to look at the top of this thing. But I haven't seen any cracks. None whatsoever. Let me get rid of that glob of liquid metal. There is a spot discolored there, though, but looks like where it may have been a hot spot. It's just discolored. Yeah, I agree. We needed a win for the first one. We did. But we don't always get what we want, do we? Look at that. Is that a hot spot? Is that what killed this? I don't know. I'm not seeing anything up under the edge of this seal either. Nothing. Except for liquid metal that I made a mess with. Out of there. I had some on my tweezers. Try to clean that up before it goes everywhere, although I don't think it's going to matter on this one. Oh, I see you. Solder ball. I mean, that liquid metal. Get out of there. Trying to hide. Yeah. I mean, it looks clean there. It does look like it's, had a hot spot there at one time. Yeah, see these coils are lifted here. One side's lifted. And the short stayed with the input side to the processor. Dead short. Dead short. I mean, other than some capacitors, but there's actually there's capacitor here and maybe some on the other side, but those are different rails. I mean, this is two different ones that are shorted. 4 if you count these over here going in. 4 different rails that have a dead short. I would have to say dead processor. Shorted and shorted. Dead processor. Dead processor. Can we agree on that one? Yeah. Can I inject just for fun? Well, shoot, how much? Yeah, it does look kind of a scratch there. And it may have killed it. Yeah, the hot spot, yeah. I can, let me get my, I don't think we're gonna hurt anything. Let me get set up to inject. Let me get a wire. Might as well get something out of this one, right? Where is my, oh, here we are. The wire I use for injection. Not that it's rated for 10 amps or anything. So it may glow before anything else does. I could just hook a piece of wire on there, I guess. I mean, like a component lead. Because this wire is not, yeah, it's not. It's not rated for any amount of current. So we should see it get warm. Let me just, hang on, I'm going to dig around in the closet a second. I'm just going to get a component lead. A nice, healthy lead, the kind I use when I'm repairing, like reattaching fan connectors and stuff like that. Clipped leads from through-hole components from projects long ago. Haven't done any through-hole projects in a couple of years. So, I mean, why not? Why not? Let me just get this, I'm going to get this inductor out of the way. Alrighty. Sorry, I was blocking your view there. Alright, so that's out of the way. I will we'll just parallel the channels of this power supply. And let's see what gets warm. I'm just going to solder this straight there. There we go. All right. Haven't done this in a while. Have not used the parallel mode on this thing. Maybe I can show you. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Parallel mode, 12 volts. Actually, I probably shouldn't give it 12 volts. We don't need 12 volts to get the current we're going to get. Let's dial it down. We'll give it 1 volt. Because we're going to get 3 amps even at 1 volt. I don't need that. ground lead over here. We're going to connect right here. And I am going to wake my thermal camera back up. If it has any battery life left to it. Because I want to see this. Come on. 14% battery on my old iPhone here. All right. We are set for 1 volt at 3 amps. Let's just see what we get. 3 amps of current. That's a 1 watt of dissipation it's giving. .316 volts. Is anything getting warm at all? Yeah, my power supply is losing its mind over there. It's like, what are you doing? And why are you doing that? I'm not seeing anything. Wait, is that a spot? Wait a minute. Yeah, is that a spot right in there? Can you see that? Is that going to show up? Yeah. Sorry, I don't have an HDMI output, but there is a spot in the corner of the APU. But it's not much. I mean, I can't tell if it's a heat spot or if it's just a reflection. It's not enough to be sure about. I think that's just a reflection. Yeah, that's the 2 lenses reflecting. So no, still nothing getting warm. I think what I'm seeing is a reflection of those 2 little lenses right there. Okay. What gives? 3 amps is going somewhere. But we can give her some more. I'm not seeing anything on this side of the board either. It should be right there. Actually, it shows, and that's actually 6 amps. It's 3 amps on each side. I didn't notice it. It's 3 amps here and 2.825 here. So, yeah, the fan is kicked on in the power supply. It's just almost like it's almost like too dead of a short. I mean, if you know what I mean. Almost like too dead of a short. Yeah, I mean, we're getting 3 amps per channel of that meter, of that power supply. But if your resistance is low enough, I have a feeling all of our power is being developed across these leads connecting, like every bit of it. What voltage are we actually getting right here? 0.0195, sorry. 0.0, I mean, so at that low resistance, the only thing that's going to get warm are the leads connecting it. What do I have? Like if I go between here and the lead coming out of the scope over here, if I can get a lead on it. 0.13. Yeah. Yeah. So I need some heavier cables for one thing if you're going to chase this kind of a short. I don't. And the only thing I can do to prove it is to remove the APU. That's a lot of trouble to go through. That's a lot of trouble to go through. Just to prove a point. And why is my phone ringing? I don't know you. Go away. And my power supply sounds like it's going to launch itself here in a second. Sorry about all the beeping. I need to figure out how to turn that off, if there's an option to turn that off. I mean, I know you're in current looping. You don't have to sit there and beep the entire time. I don't know. What else could it be? I mean, there's some capacitors here, but like I said, we've got shorts on essentially 4 different rails. 4 separate supplies. Here, here, and then here and here. That would kind of make you think, all right, just a dead APU. I mean, I've seen dead APUs, just one of these shorted. One of these small ones. I'm not sure how well they show up. Right in there. They come from right in here. That's where they're generated. Well, I think I failed on this one. Was not expecting this kind of an issue for a no power. That's what I get for being hopeful. Yeah, I agree. I think it's dead. I think it's dead. Just leave it alone. Yet another donor. I've got all these coils I pulled off. Okay, go away. Get out of my sight. I'll put you together later. Maybe. It's over. I agree. I hate to give up, though. I do hate to give up on one. I really do. But sometimes you got to move on. So let's move on, shall we? I'm sorry that one didn't work out. It happens, though. But yeah, 4 different rails shorted. My guess is that, you know, the way the liquid metal likes to wander away from the top of the die, that thing got hot. Which makes you wonder why it didn't just shut off, though, you know. Why wouldn't it just, I'm overheating, I'll shut down to protect myself. I'm glad y'all are enjoying it. Should I go on to another one, or should I just shut down now? It's just 12:20 here. Is the audio okay? I'll try to change the supply where it doesn't beep. It did that after a software update. I don't want to remove the APU right now. I really don't want to. Move on to another one. I have two others here, but I think I'm trying to keep all these parts separated for the different ones. I think what I have, let me check my purchase history here. Why is my channel called? I think I've told that story. I used to be very active on some metal detecting forums, and I was called Merc, as in mercury dime, although people call the dimes, some of the dimes with the mercury, that's what they called them. They thought it was a mercury dime, but it wasn't, nothing to do with mercury, but people thought it was mercury. Anyway, so when it came time to join YouTube, Merc was taken. But I looked up over my workbench where I had my metal detectors, kind of hanging up along the walls, and there was a Tesoro Toltec there. Tesoro Toltec metal detector. So that's how much effort went into my name. I think that is, the power supply, I think it is the 3303X. It's not the X-E. So I think it has a little more resolution on the voltage and current displays. So yeah, it's the X, not the XE. I was going to look at my purchase history, because like I said, one of these PS5s I've got here to fix, I think is just a bad port. And I hate to bore you with a bad port. I really do. Oh, it's okay. I have one that's beeps but not turning on. No light. Beep but not turning on. Let me see. If I can go back to the screen capture? There you go. Beep but not turning on. Does that sound intriguing? I thought about renaming my channel to just like Toltec, but oh, I'm sorry, David. You were saying, I think I missed some of your earlier stuff. If you're not getting 300 milliamps current draw, then yeah, something's dead. I mean, usually if like the Southbridge isn't working, you'll get like next to nothing, like just a few milliamps. All right, you want to try this one? I've got to find it in my pile. Maybe we'll have better luck. I mean, we can't get any worse than what we just had. My goodness. Let me get the tracking number for this one, or where it came from. Okay, let me look over here. I only have two of them over here. Okay, there's one. And that one's from Georgia. This one is from Tennessee. And I think, yeah, okay. All right. Beeps but doesn't turn on. Everybody loves a beep but doesn't turn on. I remember I've got to go to FedEx and drop off a package at some point today. Styrofoam. Chopped up pieces of styrofoam. It's gonna make a mess. All right. I hope this one is better to me than that last one. But this is the reality of when you're doing this kind of stuff. I don't know if I think I mentioned to you in my test stream, I had bought one and I sent it back. Because when I got in there, it was a Blu-ray edition. The one I sent back, it was a Blu-ray edition that had a digital edition board in there, and the Blu-ray drive had no electronics in it. It was just the mechanism. And I'm like, what the heck? No. I can take buying a broken one, but you've got to give me all the parts, all the right parts. So I did get my money back on it, though. I sent it back to him and was able to get my money back on that one. Because, yeah. I don't usually buy digital editions either. I don't know. Of course, I find they don't sell as well. Man, static electricity is just really not good. Okay. I mean, obviously this has been opened up before. Obviously. Where is my... Let's just... I guess I should. Let's give this one some power. Let's just give this one some power. And see if it's as described, where it beeps but no lights. You can see the light there. I'm going to point you at this power supply a second there. Up there. I'm going to give it 120 volts. I did not see the power supply start up. That's odd. I mean, normally this voltage will dip down because this is not a very stiff supply. You know, it's only rated at 2 amps. So normally when this starts up, you get a surge of current and voltage dips, and I did not see that. Okay. Just making a mental note of that. Let's see now. What do we do? We don't... Did he not say this thing beeped? Beeps, but not turning on. Okay. Am I missing something here? Am I not plugged in? Am I not plugged in or something? Okay. Yeah, I just looked at the listing again. It does say beeps, but does not turn on. Dead power supply? I doubt it's that simple. Surely somebody would have, you know, they would have swapped out the supply, but I don't see the supply starting. I don't see it starting. Okay. Let's start taking this thing apart. I'm going to have pieces everywhere. I haven't put the other one back together yet, so I'm going to have pieces laying everywhere. And where is my screwdriver? So, just a dead power supply? I kind of doubt it's just a dead supply. You would think somebody... Oh, sorry, I'm trying to check the chat every now and then. It's just all the way off to my side. I apologize. Bad HDMI encoder, yeah. Well, if it's a dead HDMI, I don't know if you're talking about mine or if you're trying to help somebody else. If it's a dead HDMI encoder, normally you get that, you'll get a beep and no light, but I'm not getting a beep. I'm not getting much of anything. So let's get in here, let's just see if we have 12 volts. That's probably step one. I've got parts laying everywhere. Do we have 12 volts? I'm running out of room quickly. I suppose, just check for 12 volts. Yeah, let me go ahead and get this off. You can check for 12 volts right here on this, on the Blu-ray connector. Best I recall, I mean, it gets 12 volts all the time. It does not get 5 volts all the time, but it does get 12 volts. Okay, which one is it? Oh, well, it'd be helpful if I'd unplug the cable there. Get in a hurry sometimes, and you do things like that. And I was getting in a hurry. And I shouldn't do that. Oops. Never a good sign when the screws are marked with a Sharpie. Never a good sign. All right, let's just see. Do we have do we have 12 volts coming out of this supply, which is on one of these pins right here? We do not seem to have 12 volts. Hope we don't have a short on 12 volts again. Yeah, no 12 volts. I didn't notice the supply starting up, so it kind of follows. Which makes me wonder, am I going to get in here and, you know, put a working supply in it, and it'll miraculously then become a beep on off. A tradition like none other. If that's the case, I'm never streaming again. Never. Just not going to do it. Oh, I was going to swap the supply out, wasn't I? I'm sorry. I was trying to get down to the circuit board. We can swap the supply out. We can do that. We can do that. Are these screws removed? Now they're in there, and they are the right ones. That's good to see. If we can do this without ripping the USB cable. Oh, I forgot about that one, didn't I? That one right there. Now, are you willing to come out? Yes, you are. All right. Supply is out. What is this model anyway? I didn't. So this is a DR, ADP 400 DR. They are a dime a dozen. I should have one right here. Right there. Hello, Dr. Cryogenic. I see you there. I'm sorry. I have not been very good of at checking chat. I'm going to have to improve on that. I apologize. I apologize. But I'm not used to it. I'm not used to having to do that. I don't do that when I'm recording, you know, which is what I'm more comfortable at. All right, so I've got another supply in here. Should be a good working supply. If I've got that seated well enough. All right, now, turn that off. Let me switch back. Look at that. We're going to look at the isolation transformer here. I'm going to plug it in. And we're going to turn it on and let's just see. Yeah, everything looks good enough. And I can see, yeah, somebody's been connecting. Oh, that's great. They've been reading the codes on this one too. I've got a bad feeling about this. That one started. That one started. That one started. So, I'll bet you this is a beep on off. And it's shocking that someone on the internet has lied to me. Okay, can you see the light? Let's just see what happens. How about eject? Well, it won't beep if there's no drive in there. So power? No beep. Not going to turn on. Nothing. Make sure this ribbon cable is seated good. It looks like it is. Okay. I saw that supply start. Did that supply keep running though? I'll get over here where you can see. Do we still have 12 volts? Nothing there. There we go. All right, we do have 12 volts. We have 12 volts. So yeah, we have a dead power supply. Yay. But that's not all. But wait, there's more. There's always more. I did check. Yep, you saw me. You're a little delayed there. It doesn't seem to be a beep on off. It's probably a short somewhere. As long as it's not on the 12 volt rail. All right, let's get this board out. But yeah, I did supply. I'm afraid this may be an eBay special. If somebody has thrown their parts together and sold it to some poor slob on the internet. You take a dead power supply and a dead motherboard and any other dead parts you might have laying around. You throw it together and you list it as untested or something, you know? It's just good business. It's just good business that way. Well, maybe we have a shot with this one. You know, what do we got? Probably a dead Southbridge. Yeah, eBay is a wonderful place. But I'm always suspicious when I open one up and somebody has marked where the screws go. because that's usually a sign of someone who has not done this too many times. I may be wrong. I could be wrong. I guess I could just try to send the thing back. Look, it doesn't beep. You said it beeped. It does not beep. Not until I change out that power supply. All right. We are in here. I'm thinking about going ahead and taking the board out. Well, let's do some quick checks maybe. Just some quick checks. Oh, let me get rid of that other camera. All right, we know we have 12. We're good there. Let's see. What about 5 volts is good. I guess it should be like a 3.3 on these. Yeah, it looks like these power buttons do have voltage setting on them. You know, the pull-up resistors by the power and eject button. There is voltage there. So it's not that easy. I'm wondering if we have a dead Southbridge. I wonder if these rails on the SSD controller are coming up. No. I was turning the AC input on and back off again. I didn't see anything come up there. I'd expect it to, like the 2.5 and the 1.2 and all those to come up momentarily as you apply 12 volts. And I don't see that. What about over here around this, the back of the Southbridge? Why am I not seeing anything? Oh, there's 1.8. I have the 1.8. Let me hit some of these rails going into the Southbridge. 26 ohms. Okay, that's not good. 26 ohms on that one. I think we have a dead Southbridge. I mean, that alone is not good. Well, did it go away? What's going on here? I had 26 ohms short to ground. Well, maybe I had voltage that was bleeding off because I just unplugged it. That would explain it. Now there's where I had it. I want there to be a short there so badly, and it's just like, no. No short. Okay. I want this board out. I want it out in my grubby little hands. And the screws for the APU clamp are stripped. That one's stripped. Okay. Need to remember to replace that one and not put that back in. What are y'all talking about? Oh. Well, I am glad so many were able to come and join us. A lot of the usual suspects that I see on other people's streams. I'm glad of that. Welcome one and all. All right, what do we got? We have a Southbridge that is swimming in flux. We have a NOR IC that has been removed and put back on. None of this is good news. Not a bit of that is good news. Nah, I don't like it. Let's look under the microscope if we could. Let's just take a look at all this wonderfulness here. Yeah, that's lovely. Just let that soak in. Okay. And the Southbridge is awash with flux, along with that 25 megahertz crystal there. There's flux, like everywhere. Everywhere. What did I do to deserve this? My first live stream. What did I do to deserve this? At least it's turned the right way. I must not be living right. It is a 61 GG, I would imagine. Yeah, should be. Look at the leg on that chip. All bent around. Yeah. So who knows if that's even the right one. And that is some horrible soldering. Look at what about this leg on the corner? I guess it's tacked down, but yeah, this thing is probably not going to draw any current off the power supply. It's just going to sit there. Oh boy. Let me look under the edge of this Southbridge a second. Yeah, some good stuff up under there. So did they replace it or did they just reflow it? But it has so much flux under it. There's no way that 32 kilohertz oscillator is going to be running. There's just no way. I'm talking about that oscillator right there, which connects, of course, to the other side of the board. I'm going to guess it's probably not running, and it won't do anything if it's not running. It won't initialize. It'll just kind of sit there. I know I've mentioned that before in other videos. Like flux doesn't really. I don't think flux bothers. Flux or alcohol probably doesn't bother anything else under this chip. Nothing else under there would care one bit about flux, except those crystal oscillators. Those crystal oscillators are very high impedance, and they don't like anything extra loading them down. I'm referring to that crystal there and that 32 kilohertz on the other side. So I need to get some of this flux out from under here, and then we'll just see. Let me just look. Let's switch back to the overhead a second. Let's just see how much current it draws. I'm going to guess next to nothing. Let's set this back for 12 volts, and we're not going to do parallel. We're going to do 12 volts. 500 milliamps is normally enough. And for this board, I think 10 milliamps is enough because I don't think it's going to do anything. I think it's just going to sit there. That's what I think it's going to do. I picked some winners today, didn't I? Alrighty, our polarity is right. It looks good. I'm set for 13 volts for some reason. I don't know why. 12 volts. All right, let's give it 12 volts. She sets a peak of 10 milliamps. She sets her at 7 milliamps. She's not going to do anything. She's not going to do a thing until we clean some of this flux off, and then who knows the status of the contents of this, NOR IC. Who knows what it's got in it. Of course, I can find something to put in there. Let me heat this up a little. Clean it up. See if we get any current draw. We might fire up the scope and just see if these oscillators are running. Just trying to get a little heat in the area. Find my alcohol. See if I can get it to run underneath there. I doubt I got it out from under there yet, because there was a lot. That doesn't look too bad now. All right, there's still flux everywhere. Let's see if it does anything any different. I'll make sure you guys can see everything. Replace the BIOS chip. Oh, come on, it looks fine. It's got a few crooked legs on it. May not be even turned the right way. I don't know. All right. Still dead. Still dead. Let me crank up this scope over here so I can check something. Give it another cleaning. It's solid flux underneath this thing. I do need to check and make sure. I'm pretty sure the 3.3 and the 1.15 are coming up, but we'll check them. .15, I should say. Looking better. A few less chunks of flux underneath there. Let's see. Still no current draw. Still no current draw whatsoever. Try to get that glare off of there. I'm assuming we're getting 5 volts into this thing. We are. 3.3. There should be 1.15. Yes. What does it say? Where's that 2 volt rail at? Where's that? Let me get rid of this putty off the top of this chip. Where's my? There we go. Little plastic spudger here. Oh, that chip hasn't been messed with anyway, I don't think. It still has all the putty on it. Now, where is... There we go, 1.99. All right, so it is going in there. That all looks good. And I'm sure we're getting 3.3 down here on the BIOS chip. We are indeed. We are indeed. Let me disconnect this a second, because we shouldn't need this. If this battery is good, and it is, that battery will keep the 32 kilohertz oscillator running. Let's see if it's running. Right there. It may be. It may not be. Let's see. Can you see the gigantic glare? Yes, you can. I just want to see if this 32 kilohertz oscillator is running. I think, yeah. Yeah. On these test pads right there, I'm not seeing anything. No, I don't think she's running at all. Oop, what was that? Was that it trying to run? Was it trying to run? Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm in 1x mode. That'll do. I have 1x on the scope, loads it down too much. Put it in 10x. Yeah, we're running. Get the trigger set right. 32 kilohertz, so that's running. So that is running. So we just, either we have a dead Southbridge or we have a dead, BIOS chip. I wonder if we can see any kind of activity on this thing. Let me get my supplies hooked back up. All right. Oh, yeah, we do have a little burst of data there, don't we? I'm checking on these resistors that go between this. They connect the NOR chip to the Southbridge. Don't see anything on that one. That looked like some data of some kind. That definitely looks like data. Yep. Yep. Okay. Then that would make me think the Southbridge is trying to talk to this NOR IC and trying to load. What are we talking about now? Oh, you're talking about trying to unban a console? Yeah, it's a pretty well hardware banned. Yeah, pretty permanent. So our 32 kilohertz oscillator is running. I would imagine this 25 megahertz is running. I could check it right quickly. There we go. Trigger, you animal. There you go. 25 megahertz. Sorry, both oscillators are running. That's good. That looks good. I'm sorry for the glare that's coming off one of my other lights here. I'd have to. It's not that one. It's not that one. I don't know which one it is. It's that one, the main one on the desk. So what have they done to the contents of this chip? I'm going to have to pull it off and try to read it. I mean, I'm assuming, let me look at it under the microscope. I'm assuming it's on there, right? Although the soldering does not look very pretty. The chip does not look very pretty. Oh, that leg is floating. Yeah, that leg is floating. And that resistor has seen better days there. That resistor has seen things. It could tell stories. 4.68, so it's probably right, probably a 4.7 case. Want to make sure it wasn't open. 4.7 on that one. So that pin is kind of floating there. Let's correct that. I still don't feel very lucky that that's going to be all of it. But why not? Let's tack that a little. There's some rough looking pins on that thing. All right. Now, let me see. Oh. Does it draw any more current now? Where's the power supply? Over there. Does it draw any more current now? I doubt it. Are we connected? Let's just see. Yeah. No. Nope. No difference. Yeah. That chip needs to come off. I need to see what's in it. Read its contents. Make sure I got the power off of it. I do have some other chips I could use if this one won't read. But I'm going to lose the MAC addresses. Because we have no way of knowing if that's the original one that was on there anyway. No way of knowing that. Let me see if I can clean up these legs a little. Because I'm going to put them in a like spring-loaded, clip. And it doesn't like to make contact if there's solder on there. Like a spring-loaded socket. It may not make contact anyway, the way these things are bent. Try to get that stuff off of there. I need to bend that leg a little, but I'm a little concerned what's going to happen. I think it's been bent one time too many. Look at the pieces missing out of the top of this thing. This chip has had some abuse. Let me see if it'll go in the holder. Yeah, that BIOS chip is, it's seen better days, I'm afraid. Who knows where it came from? Could just be a donor that they threw on there as they sent it out the door. All right. Pin 1 is there, I believe. Let's see how well this grabs a hold of it here. Yeah, I wish those. I mean, look at the edges on this thing. Which means they were probably trying to get it off and constantly like grabbing at it with the tweezers. It may have just cooked it till it's, you know, well done. I don't know. All right. Okay. Let me go over here and try to read it. I don't have any way of showing you, and I apologize. My other computer. So I'm going to read this on a Windows computer over here. That's my gaming computer, because it's the only Windows one I have in here. The other one is Linux. Which is why when I'm doing videos, I have to walk over here and record with my phone. Okay, let's see if it'll even read. Read. Error. Error. Well, we didn't read the first time. Not surprising. This chip is probably dead. See if I can reseat. Sometimes, you know, you have, well, that's why I take the solder off those legs. Bad pins, it says that time. Come on. Retry. Error, error, error. There is an error. Read. Oh, I got it to read that time. Turn off check ID. I have to turn off check ID for this thing to read it. All right, it read it successfully. It read it successfully. So as rough as it looked, it still holds its contents. And we extracted 2 meg from it. Okay. I wasn't expecting to have to come over here, so I apologize. I thought we'd do everything over there and not have to come over to this computer. So what I'm going to do is dump this about 4 times. Just in case. I'm going to read it again, and I will save that. I'll make 4 copies of it, just to improve my odds of having a good dump. Save. Yeah, this wasn't how I thought my first stream would go, really. Oh well. Reading it for the 3rd time. Save. Nope, 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 not load. Save. Save. Browse. And I'll take a look at it probably with the NOR validator. But I definitely have a donor. I definitely have a donor BIOS to put on here, which is probably what I should do, no matter what it says. Reading it for the 4th time. Should have been paying attention to the checksum. Oh, whoa. That checksum changed that time. I did catch it. That checksum changed. That's never good. That means we're getting questionable reads. Man. I hate that. I really hate that. So which one's good? Which one of these is good? I have to see if any of them agree. I just happened to look up and when it got through reading it, I saw the checksum value change. Cancel. Browse. I wonder if it changed every time I read it. I'm going to read it again. Checksum ends in C541. Read it again. It changed. C510. It changed. It's changing every time. Read it again. Checksum is ending in C510. C43. Oh, it's just random. It's just random. I'm working the contacts, trying to get a better, because it's just different every time I read it. Can't say I've ever had that. Read it again. C72E. Read it again. C5E6. So yes. Yes. No two reads seem to be the same. I wonder if there's any useful data in this dump anywhere. Like MAC addresses, stuff like that. I have to pull up my notes on where they are. Because I think this chip is just garbage. Could be my contacts, but I don't think they're that bad. Read C5E6. What I need to do, yeah, see, it's just random each time. Okay. I have another chip. So let me put a known working dump. Is it better to solder? I've done it both ways. I've done it both ways. But I think what I'm going to do is, I know I have a working chip that was sent to me. I could pull one off a board. Let me just see. I probably got one right here. Let me find an EDM10, which I really don't know if it's good, but EDM10, is this a disc edition? It is. It is indeed. Let me pull this one off. We'll throw it on there. See if we get some semblance of starting up then. But I will try. I do have the little adapter boards to solder it to. It's just, I hate to stress the chip any more than I have to. So if I can do it with a solderless approach, why not? And it's worked well for me. I can't really say I've had a problem with it. but those leads are also crooked on that chip. But still, the fact that I don't think I got any two reads that were the same is not good. But it did get something. I mean, it said Sony, computer at the very top of it. It wasn't total garbage. There's some intelligence there. These things can be such a pain to get off. And again, I'm trying not to kill the damn thing. Work with me here. I'm trying to help you. Add a little leaded solder on there. Everything goes better with a little leaded solder. Is this thing glued on? Come on already. Okay. I'll switch so you can see. Okay, then you decide to come off. Okay. Now let me freshen up these pads a little. Okay. Hopefully that's a working chip. We'll let it cool off some before we give it any power. What a mess of flux, too. Oh, a lot of guys getting together and discussing? Please, talk amongst yourselves. All right, let that cool off a little. And see if it'll try to boot at all now. Okay, polarity is right. What is she going to do? Hey, she's going to boot up. Look at there, 300 milliamps and come back down. Can you see that? Is it showing up all right, or is that lead in the way there? No problem, Dr. Cryogenic. I'm not very entertaining. But I hope you could see my power supply there. That this thing did its initialization. I think she will try to turn on at this point. And that looks healthy and normal. I think our Southbridge is not dead. That's a win. I need to update. I won't leave it like that though. I'm going to see if this will turn on, but I won't leave it like that. I'm probably going to go back in and I'll try to extract what data I can out of that other NOR, you know. But really, as far as the MAC addresses go, you could probably keep it like it is, because this came from a donor board. That board's not going to be on the internet ever again, so it's still a unique MAC address, if you know what I mean. But I would like to get the serial numbers correct and all that kind of stuff. And we can do that. I can do that afterwards. Let's just see. I mean, I do try to make things as right as I can. Yeah, we had 300 milliamps. Woohoo! Love to see it. Love to see it. I'm trying to part the sea of stuff on my workbench here. What did I do with the, here it is. Looking for the chassis for this one. So what was originally wrong with this one then, I wonder? Maybe it just had a, because I can't really tell if that Southbridge has been replaced or if it's just been, you know, floated in flux. Has it been reflowed? Hard to say. So what did it just have? Maybe had corrupted BIOS contents? But it looked like they had tried to swap it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm wondering now what the original problem was. We know we have a dead power supply. All right, I don't have the clamp on here. And I'm not putting that bad screw back in there. Yeah, that one there can just get out of my life. Okay. Not fighting with that one again. I know I have screws. I know I have them. All right. Oops, come back here. What were we talking about? My dead power supplies? I'm just catching pieces of conversations. I don't know. Are you talking about me behind my back? That's all right. I don't care. I don't care. Do it. All right. I don't have any video hooked up to this right now. I need to, though, but Let's just see if she'll boot to a white light. Let me see, we'll turn this around. Will she boot to a white light? Fan. Got the LED ribbon cable connected. Oh. Power. Power is optional. Yep, power supply started up because that's my loaner supply. There we go. I tried to turn it on too quick before it initialized. Now it's a blue light of death. Yay! Now I think she's going to go to a white light. White light. White light. All right. I'm going to let it go. It's probably going to shut down and do the storage check. I hate to yank the power on it. Yeah, okay, go back to blue. Let it do its storage check. And I'll hook it up over here off to the side. Let me clear a spot for it in my pile of junk. And we'll see some video out of this thing. All right, she's finished her storage check. Now, which one of these? Okay. I was trying to figure out which one of these Blu-ray drives went with this one. I think I see it. I think I have it. I have too much stuff on this test table over here. I can't see how many people are watching the stream. I can't really see it. It doesn't tell me that. It doesn't tell me that. Okay. Let me see here. Let's go. Let me turn this camera around. Let me shut this thing down. I need to hook up another cable to my capture card in the computer. I do have a fourth input that I can use to bring in the output of the console. I need to do that in the future. We're shutting down. We're shutting down. And we are off. I'm going to move it over here. Ooh. Just a second. Well, do I have another cord? I just realized I have another PS5 sitting over here that I was running. And it's asleep. I don't want to unplug it. I have another cord here, though. I don't want to unplug the PS5. It's asleep and cause any kind of issues. But I have a separate, I have another one here. I have a second power supply, power cord over here to test with. All right, now. There we are. Can we kind of see over there? Beautiful. I don't know whose name's going to pop up. User 1. Okay. Maybe this is an old firmware. Let's see, shall we? I bet it's not, though. I bet it's not. 6.02. That's kind of old. 2202, 602. Okay. That's going to work, but I need to, like I said, I'm going to probably, after I get through streaming here, I'm probably going to go back in. I'm going to take that chip. I'm going to try to update it and get the contents right, get the serial number right. I'll get the MAC addresses right. All that kind of stuff. Only 2 likes? Yeah, nobody likes my streams. It's all right. I'm used to it. I'm used to it. Do we want to look at this power supply if we have some time left? Because I'll do that other stuff with that NOR. It's computer booter. You wouldn't watch me, booter. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You just stab me in the back. Hey, booter. I use Kingbo. I use Kingbo, although it may be fake Kingbo. I really don't know. No, we didn't have 12 volts. Remember, you were saying we did not have 12 volts out of it. We checked. We at the connector for the Blu-ray, and there was no 12 volts. Booter, well, I'll be joining your chat. I'll be joining your stream later on there, Booter. Thanks for coming by, though. I do appreciate the visit. I appreciate the visit there, Booter. But yeah, let's take a look at this supply then. Let me see if I can switch back. This is all new to me. Switching between these different cameras. But that thing is running. It's probably going to overheat since I don't really have the fan is just sitting on top of it. Let me shut that down before it overheats. But that's a problem. Like I said, I do need to fix the contents of that NOR, but hey, we got it's working. Southbridge was good. We're lucky on that part. Yeah, Booter. I bought the Kingbo I buy is in the tub. I don't know if it's real or not. I really don't know. But all right, go to work, Booter. Thanks for coming by. And I don't know if what I've got's legit, but it's, you know what? It works. It works. It may be the fakest stuff on the planet. I don't know, but it just works for me. So I use it. Okay, let's check this power supply. Now, I don't think it's good. I think we checked for that 12 volts. You know, at the Blu-ray connector, and it wasn't there. Nothing. Yep, I do have AC going into it. I know you got a reflection there, but yeah, there's nothing. Nothing coming out. All right. So what time is it? It is 1:37 here. Do we want to tackle the power supply that has a warranty sticker over the one of the screw holes? I'm going to dig on into it. If you feel the urge to leave me and go to a booter, I understand. I totally understand. I'd leave me too for booter. And yes, please don't open up your power supplies. I don't want people getting hurt. Because they can hurt you. This may very well just be a dead, you know, DAP 53. But it definitely tells me that whoever sold me this thing took the working supply out of it. He said it beeped. Which really, you think about it, nothing he said in that description, now that I think about it, is correct. It couldn't have beeped. you know, with that, the contents of that NOR like that. It wasn't beeping. It had a dead power supply. Okay, I just need not to, I need to not buy from that person again. That's what I need to do. Learn from one's mistakes. I'm not going to touch it because I probably have charged up some caps in this thing. Let me get my capacitor discharge tool. Which I have conveniently hidden down deep in the drawer. I sent one of these to Booter. He doesn't use it very much, but I did send him one. Yep, we were charged up. So I should tell you right there, our fuse is probably not blown. Because we managed to charge up those caps, didn't we? Make sure they are completely discharged. I even short across it there. All right, so we're discharged. We're safe now. So, like I was saying, I'm going to say our fuse is good because we charged our capacitors up. Fuse is good. How about our fusible resistor? Which is hard to get to on this model, the way they've got it turned. Can't really get to the legs of it. 0.1, yeah, I'd say she's good. Well, if our fusible resistor is good, that means our MOSFETs are not shorted because it would have opened up that fusible resistor. Now we do have the one for the PFC, but I think if it had shorted, you would have blown the fuse. So, back to our old friend, the DAP053. I'm just trying to orient it so pin 1 is over here. Let's do some quick diode checks. Getting on the correct ground, which I want the negative lead of one of these large filter caps. Positive, negative, okay. Pin 1, 0.7, 0.58 on 2. I need to look at my notes. I just want to see if anything, that's ground, that's normal. If anything jumps out at us, a nice, you know, short. That all looks good though. 1.15. That all looks exceptional. No, they all look good. Those all look fine. Could still be bad. There's no short on the output, is there? No, it's just capacitors charging up there. Because there was quite a few capacitors on the output. No. Our output's not shorted. No signs of lightning damage or anything. There's no bugs, no burn marks, no arcs, nothing like that. No bugs. No, I don't have no bugs on this one. So I need to get out my notes for a 400DR, but I'm pretty sure that chip, those readings seem fine on that DAP053. And there is no DMP014 on this chip. They do it with you know, some op amps and whatever else. They do it same type circuitry as what's in the DMP014, but our most likely suspect, let's face it, is this chip is bad. Even though it's not shorted, it's just the most likely thing. And and I will replace it because I don't see it. It didn't seem like it ever even started. Not like it started and shut down. Like there was a, it figured out there was a problem and something over here caused it. It never even tried to run. Is what it looked like. So let's just go straight to that DAP053. I hate to do it, but in the interest of time, where are they? Here they are. Anybody still here? Bad cat? No. Yeah, I am going to change this that chip. That's just kind of from experience. I mean, unless I see lightning damage, then we're off on a whole nother chase. But I don't see any kind of, there's no arcs, there's no bugs, it's clean. It's very clean. Fuse is good. The most likely thing then is that chip has just decided to no longer cooperate. No hole in it though. Nope. So I may be barking up the wrong tree here, but I don't know. I have seen these things they just die. I'm going to turn my heat down to about 350. These boards will delaminate if you're not careful. So I try not to overdo it on the heat on them. They will popcorn. So I try to keep the heat moving around and not focusing in just one spot. But the chip is also glued down, so there's that. There we go. Oh, let go. Let go. There we go. So how many parts did I knock off when it went moving? None? I'll take it. I have a box full of power supplies to fix. If that's something any of you would be interested in at some point. We'll just do a power supply marathon. I probably have 20 supplies in a box in my closet. Let's see now. One. Let me heat this up a little. I have to go back over those things. So Booter is streaming now. But Booter is not working on a power supply. I'm just saying. All right. I'll clean up some of this mess I made. All right. Yeah, he's probably doing a Frankie. I guess he makes good money at those things. I don't know. He must make good money at them. He wouldn't do them otherwise, I'm sure. Get this load set up. Let's see if she's going to do anything. Make sure that's off. Let's see. Okay, that load is on. Screws. Let's get some AC into this thing. Clarity is right. Load is connected and on. Okay, I'm going to give it, you can see. Turn this on and give it 120. See if any sparks fly anywhere. No, nothing. So I convicted that poor DAP053. I apologize. So, we're just sitting here. This could be interesting. This could be interesting. So I'm assuming we'll have about 170 or so volts across these capacitors. Yeah, 165. But we're not running. And of course nothing on the output. I want to see, I don't think it starts up even for a moment. I think it's just dead. I'm trying to let the capacitors kind of bleed off to give us a fresh starter, but I don't think so. I was trying to see if maybe, you know, if the 12 volts is coming up and then there's a shutdown. That's what I'm looking for. I don't think it comes up at all though. And AC is on. No. And also, this is hard to do with one hand here. I need to, what I wanted to see is if this boost voltage, this should be 395. If it ever goes up, if it starts up and shuts down, that's what I wanted to see. I don't think so. No, it's just sitting there. So what is it? The optos? Very strange. You know what? I wonder if I can flip this thing over. Capacitors are still hot. Let's see if our DAP053 is getting its supply voltage, which is really is like a, it's internally generated. Yeah, it's internally generated from the AC line in the beginning. I'm going to pull up the data sheet to a TA2016. Well, I'm having a hard time finding that one. Should be right here. just want to see which pin is the supply pin, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Okay. Oops. Oops. The initial startup supply in this chip is actually handled internally. And once it starts running, then you get, you know, you get other voltages kicking in. I need to find that data sheet. Trying to remember how I named it. Sort by name. There we go. It's under DAP053. Let's see here. Nope. I don't want that one. I want the other one. Can I change this? I'm trying to show you what I'm doing here. And I'm a bit of a noob at it. Let me get the right window up there. Okay. Supply IC, pin 13. Input supply voltage and output of internal high voltage startup source. So it's the voltage on there it is internally grounded to begin with. Let's just see what we've got on it, shall we? But it's pin 13. Right there. Let me look right quick like. Yeah. Yeah, I see there's a Zener right there. So I can check right across that Zener. I'm trying to get rid of that glare, but it always finds me. All right, AC's back on. Where is our negative lead of our capacitor? Right about in here. Pin 13 is 0. Okay. Why is it 0? I'm trying to remember. I mean, when the supply is running, you have a separate winding coming off the transformer that powers it. But that's not how it starts up. It starts up off of, basically off of the, the raw rectified DC voltage coming in on Which one is it? High side driver. Internal high voltage startup. So basically, you should have a higher, there should be a good bit of DC on one of these pins. Let's see if we can find it very carefully. Because I can't remember which one it is. I think it's on this other side here. 2 volts. That's on pin 16. I don't like reaching across this supply. Not a fan. I don't know if I've seen one of this exact problem. I'm not seeing. I have to look at the schematic to figure. I'm going to turn off this. Let's do something right quick like this. Discharge these capacitors. And just see if we have a short on that pin. I don't think we will. Okay. So we're safe to do some measurements. Pin 13, which I'm getting right here on this zener. Now we're in the k ohms. We're in the hundreds of k ohms. So we're not shorted. Like I said, the initial startup voltage for that thing comes from another pin, and I'm going to have to find it in the data sheet here. I mean, it'll be 100 volts or something. And it uses a very small amount of current to go over. I'm searching, where is the... There should be a model for the startup of this thing. Yeah. I want to say the initial voltage is coming into one of these pins through a large resistor or more than one in the mega ohms. I thought there was a nice diagram showing the startup. I may have gone past it. At the top. What is it? Well, what about this? Sense mains, sense boost. All right, sense mains is right off of it's rectified voltage. Sense current PFC. Okay, I know what those are. Ground, there's the gate drive for the power factor corrector, gate for the low side switch. That's a high voltage spacer. Drain side of the PFC, gate high side switch. Sub HS, what is that one? And this is, let's see, 12 is also a high voltage spacer. 11, half bridge. 13, which one is it? Is it sense mains? Input for mains voltage and external temperature. Yeah, that one gets pulled to ground for a shutdown signal. This is sense for the boost, so this is, after the PFC circuit. And it's just a sense to see if it's come up. Internal high voltage startup source. drain PFC. Pin 8. Are we getting anything on pin 8? Are we getting anything on pin 8? All right, we're back hot again. Pin 8 should be right there. Not really much to speak of there. Is that being... what the heck? Is that pin 8 or am I counting wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a 16 pin IC. I'm sorry, I forgot to switch back. I forgot to switch back. I didn't have anything though. Right there, of course we've got 170 across the capacitors. But on pin 8, nothing. I see a resistor here. Nothing there either. That's supposed to be connected to the drain of the power factor corrector IC, MOSFET, which is over here. So why does the power factor corrector MOSFET not have voltage on it? Why would it not have voltage on it? Why would it not? This thing is still hot, so I'm not going to stick my fingers in there too much. Gate. I see the gate on the left. Which one of these is the drain? One of them's the source, one of them's the drain. I don't know which one it is. The gate I can tell though, because it has this resistor over here going to it. So that's the gate. What is this right here? Is our PFC coil open? Has this thing been dropped or something? I have seen that. Doesn't seem to be open. So we're talking about pin 8. That should go. I think there's a resistor in line. Yeah, that should go. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. The drain of that MOSFET should be going to your PFC coil, which should be sitting at 170 volts right now if it's not running, unless something has opened. Unless something has opened. Like I'm thinking one of these. This is the back side of the PFC. And I'm not seeing any voltage on it. I can't remember which one's the input, which one's the output. Oh, there's also pins over there. Oh, there's the current sense for it right there. Wait, there's 164 volts on pin 4. Nothing on pin 5. Nothing on pin 2. Nothing on pin 1, which looks like just a mounting pin. So, I'm trying to remember. I think it's pin 4 and pin 2. Are the ones that should have that voltage sitting on it. Where? I don't know. That's 165 volts. That's nothing. What is open here? Something is open. Pin 4 and 5. I don't want to handle this thing too much. Let me look at it. Okay. Okay, I see the problem. Let me turn this thing off. I see the problem. Let me get this up and roll this supply over on its side. This thing has been dropped. And we have broken our PFC coil. Yep. Well, that would explain a lot of things. Yeah, that's drop damage. It has so much mass to it. I mean, if you drop it, you know, inertia just takes it. But we can fix this, I think. All right. We can fix this, I think. I think we can fix this. I say we can anyway. After we discharge these capacitors, because I'm not sticking my fingers in there and getting bit. All right, and we are discharged thoroughly. Unplug the AC input. Let me see if I can. Do I have one? I was trying to see. I need to fix a better view up. Okay. Did it break that ground wire? It did break the ground wire. So we need to tack that back too. If you can see that one kind of snapped in too also. Can I push this back down? Yep. Come on now, line up for me. Oh, overdid it. All right, did I break some on the other side as well? I thought I just broke them on this side. Come on, sit down there. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Now, can we splice this? I feel like we can. Well, the transformer's not totally broken. Just got a couple of broken leads, that's all. I need to be able to, I need a way of holding this thing up. Omnivice to the rescue. Maybe I can do it this way. Let me turn it again. Keep forgetting I'm right-handed. I need to get in there and solder that. What do we think? Yeah. I've got a little pan of ice. I could put it in. I should probably trim back that plastic wrap a little so I don't melt it. Probably going to have to because I'm going to melt it. I'm going to melt it. What did I do with my X-Acto knife? Well, it's gone. It's left me. Yeah, I just need one more hand if somebody could hold this thing. I'll just hold that back a little. It's just hard to do under the microscope, if you know what I mean. I really need a different tip also. The tip I'm trying to use is so big. I can try this smaller iron, but I don't think it's going to have the oomph needed. mean, there's some pretty good windings there, pretty good sized windings. See if I can get this big one in here. Huh, that might work. I don't have another coil. I don't have another one. All right, this other one is just like a little ground wire. For the outer shielding of it. And it's down there where it's kind of hard to get to. Well, darn near impossible to get to. If it would just quit wiggling everywhere. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see what happens, shall we? Oops. What do you think is going to happen? Load connected. AC power's not turned on yet. All right, what do you think? It's going to work? I think you're right. I think you're right. Load is on. Let's try. I'm going to bring the voltage up slowly. Is my arm in the way of everything? Why, yes. Yes, it is. There we go. Yes. There we are. 5 amp load, 12 volts. Well, that was fun. I've seen these break before. Actually, I've got another one here. That I had to repair on. A little bit of worse shape. Similar type thing though. Nice. You like that one? It works? Yes, it works. I think we can run it up to any kind of load. I think she'll work. 10 amps. The limiting factor gets to be my my little supply here. She's drawing amp and a quarter right now going through it. It's only rated, it's fused at 2 amps. So yeah, I should probably put a fan on this thing also. All right, she works. Let's see what that voltage is. There's these leads they're nice sized leads, but they're not perfect. So that's why it says 11935 over here. But if we check right here, we should have something much closer to 12049. So yeah, don't let that fool you back there. It's just you're drawing 10 amps of current through these wires. Like if I turn the load down, you'll see it. So if I really want to seriously load test one, I don't go through this. I have to go straight to the wall plug for a good current flow. But yeah. All right, we fixed the PS5. We're 50% on PS5s right now in live streams. Which is not a good average, I don't think. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm glad you got to see my first live stream, man. Maybe my last one. I don't know. I didn't do so well. Yeah, the first one was a test stream. It didn't really count. One PS5, yeah, one PS5 fixed, one PS5 supply repaired. Yeah, that's kind of probably how it goes usually. Yeah, the other one is, I'm afraid it had a dead APU. Well, anyway, I hope you liked it. Thought it was somewhat interesting. You want to go into an IDE mode. You may have to change it in more than one place. I can't remember. Some of the stuff in that NOR is doubled up. Like say MAC addresses and stuff like are in multiple places. So you may have to change it in more than one. I can't remember. It's been a while. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. I'm sure y'all can head over to Booter, bother him for a while. I'm going to clean up around here some and try to get some other stuff done. When do I make? I'm just random. I don't have a schedule for streams. It's going to be random. It's going to be random whenever I can. I don't know if it'll be every week. I really don't know. The only other PS5 I've got in right now is I think it's just a broken HDMI port, which is rather boring, I think. But I'm glad some of you enjoyed it. But I'll try to do some more in the future. Okay, head over to Booterland. We'll see you next time. So long for now.